Jesse Rucinski show. It's been a while. Lots of serious stuff going on in the world. So I'm glad you guys, through all of that and everything, gave me a listen and watch to hear, my take on all of it. Um, there's a lot of crazy going on in the world. We all know that. Well, very aware of that. And, crazy people do crazy things when afforded the opportunity to be crazy. Uh, with all the right, a perfect recipe will lead to utter destruction. There's a lot of people that have a lot of opinions on it all that don't understand because they've never left, let's say, their home state, their local area ever, and they just listen to what everyone's telling them and believe it as gospel, which we all know, you know, isn't the best way to go about things. You're supposed to make educated things, not just listen to what everyone says. And a lot of us, saw this coming. A lot of us, we all said, bad things were going to happen just because of the history of Putin and the time he's been in charge. Like, done all kinds of crazy stuff, which, only been, a little over 20 years. And he's done a lot of damage um, to the world. And I don't think anyone that has a brain or has paid attention to anything about him ever thinks that he's anywhere near done. I mean, you can have your opinions that you think he is, but history tells us, and everything going on right now tells us that he's not going to stop. He has no intention to. It's just the way that it all works, sadly. And it didn't have to be this way. It doesn't have to be this way. I feel a lot of people have, ran their sucks. I think there's a lot of propaganda, misinformation, is all kinds of stuff that's gone on. People dragging their feet to do anything. There's just been so much, and what we're at, like day 13, and there's still things that haven't been done. People are still taking their time, which again doesn't surprise me. It's disheartening. People going, the U.S. citizens going to the embassy, to try to get help from them to get out of Russia, being told that they can't help them, which means like we didn't just learn anything just a few short months ago, about what, 6 months, give or take, a couple days, since Afghanistan. Now here we are in a stupid situation again, and it all like really feels like deja vu to me. It's dragging their feet, not doing anything, and then suddenly, oh no, we have a problem. Like there's been a problem. There always has been a problem. There always will be a problem. And I really think people need to educate themselves and, actually have educated thoughts based on history and facts, and not just stupidity that people, just feed them, and they don't look at anything, they don't do anything. That causes a lot of problems. Are there bad actors everywhere? Yes. Bad actors on both sides, I'm sure there are, but this whole thing is just chaos, and I got a bunch of stuff to go over. To break it all down, everything I've seen. And again, I said, I was going to wait just because, it is such a delicate situation. It's a really bad situation. It's a cluster, what, but they always are. And it was doomed to be this way. No one can try to tell me otherwise. Man, I've had people literally arguing with me, trying to argue it, but they have no experience in it. They don't know the history of anything. They don't know anything. So I can ask them all kinds of questions, and they say, huh? And they don't know anything. And that's a shame. And doesn't look like anyone really has a spine in a lot of it for the longest time. But a lot of important stuff to go over. First of all, I just want to hit on Lindsey Graham publicly saying that someone needs to assassinate Putin is not going to help the situation at all, regardless of how you feel. Calling for, the assassination of a foreign leader while they're doing all this stuff isn't going to help anything. not at all going to help anything, actually, because he's a megalomaniac and he doesn't care. And that's why we're here in the first place. Not going to say either way, which would be a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, we should all be able to figure out what I think about it. But what is that going to do to anything? Someone does, and we said it out loud, that could be considered an act of war. There's all kinds of things. I mean, it's already a war. It's already going to get a lot worse. I could say that very well, but that's not going to help. Just like, what is voting base yells at me and argues for weeks, up to like 2 days before he made his thing, said that all those sanctions they're putting on Russia was to deter them from invading. And then literally like a day or two after the last person said it might have been Vice President Harris, he comes out and says they were never meant to be a deterrent. Sadly, I think he was the one telling the truth. Just everyone else was saying it, forever. But I was saying it the whole time. That's not going to stop him. None of it is. They're just wasting time. And that's all they've done so far. People are arguing with me about it. Like this. And then what, I'm going to go because I don't like the way this conversation's going. Well, like, you're the one that just went off. I just said this thing sucks and they're not doing enough. And, and people start blowing my head off. And, sadly, those were never going to deter him. No matter how many times they said it, we all knew they weren't going to. So he said the quiet part out loud again. It's really what it is. It's never meant to deter anything. Everyone should have known that before. The second they said it, before he even got there, we all knew it wasn't going to, most people with brains knew it wasn't going to deter him from doing anything. Notice how he kept building up and building up and building up on three sides. Like, he was never going to be deterred by anything they did there. And now he's just too far into it. And we see the way it's going. You see the bombardment of everything. Sanctions aren't going to do that. I'm sorry, he never cared. He was never going to. And I'm tired of people just defending the idiocy going on in our country, leading it. And they literally said it was to deter. And President Biden says it was never meant to. Someone was lying. No matter if you want to admit it or not, that was a lie. And anyone with the brain knew it was a lie and it wasn't going to do anything. And here we are. What do you know? Because it didn't do anything at all, ever. Sanctions didn't mean anything to him. At least not the ones that are putting on there. Was not going to stop anything. And, that's one of the things that got us here. The media and the propaganda. I mean, yes, there's bad people doing bad things all over, but Russia, shuttering media outlets, arresting people, only allowing state media to come out, coming from their words, not from anything else. Like, if you think that is 100% telling the truth, apparently you've never paid attention to the world at all. Because no way that's 100% factually what's going on. When they refuse to let any other people say anything, it's normally a bad sign. But they're bad actors. And I know people that are, I consider very highly up there in the intelligence level of getting these things. They're completely head over heels with it. And granted, yes, there are bad actors on, across the board and everything. But in my experience, the ones that are only doing state-led stuff and shuttering all kinds of other media just so it's only their stuff coming out, that's normally not a very good thing. I shouldn't have to tell you that. No one should have to tell you that. Of course, that's a very bad thing. And they're only letting one side come out, one thing, one, agenda and one line of information. That's, it's not good. And it's not going to be good, but look at all the stuff they're doing. They're doing it all. And media, social media, all kinds of stuff. Like, they've been doing it. And that's, normally a sign of bad things as well. I don't like it. I don't have to like it, but it's normally not a good sign, especially coming from, people that have been as hostile as Putin the whole time he's been in office. It's just, I'll go over his track record, but, he's been proven to be a bad actor for forever. And there's people that are so twisted about everything because they didn't get into politics or pay attention to anything until the last couple of years. that don't care about history or facts or anything. They just go straight off what everyone tells them or how much stuff has been disproven. And that is also not helping anything. People have no experience with foreign anything. Giving opinions and facts and saying they know all kinds of stuff isn't good. That's why real history should be taught, because when this is just textbook, and whenever bad things happen, like it's always normally really the same. Yet people keep falling into the trap, which I don't get. Again, dumbing down people. No, that's what they said. Boom, that's gospel. It's like no, like read history, read stuff. See all the propaganda and crazy that's going on, has been going on. You'll be more enlightened, and this stuff won't get to you. You'll see broader into things. Again, bad people on across the board, both sides. There's always bad people on both sides, but invading a country, sovereign country from three sides, and they're just shelling the hell out of everything, and then saying they're not doing anything bad, even though there's lots and lots of proof and credible reports and all kinds of stuff of war crimes and all kinds of stuff. Like, I'm sorry, that is not good, and that's all to be expected in these situations. Just the way the cookie crumbles. Now, President Zelensky of Ukraine, has this whole time during Putin's whole thing, what's he been asking for? Rounds, which we can give him. Equipment, I get it. Planes, no fly zone, which they're still trying to figure out, because it was going to be, give them Polish planes, but the Polish don't have enough. Now it's going to be American planes. I get the no-fly zone thing. Put us up there, we start having to shoot down their stuff. We're in war, but they're not going to stop with Ukraine. And we're pretty much already there. But I do understand, not wanting to put our planes and our guys shooting them down, because then that is technically an act of war against the Russians. But the Russians are already there. Everyone's saying if we do that, it'll push the nuclear button. He pushes the nuclear button. He's killing himself too. As to where they are, wouldn't end well. Is he crazy? Yes. Do I think he's that crazy? I don't. I sure hope not. But in that proximity, he pushes that button. It's very bad for Russia as well. Even though they are out for utter destruction. You see what shelling everything, hospitals, schools, people as they're fleeing, landmines, like they're out for destruction. But I don't think he's going to do that. But the no-fly zone, I could see not wanting to do it, but we're already there. It's already too late. 13 days in, he's obviously in it. And it's not good. And it's not going to stop. Giving them what we can to support them. They can keep fighting, because they're fighting. They said it would take them 2 days. Here we are, damn near 2 weeks later, and they're still fighting. But, theoretically, there's a no-fly zone. They said we can't do that because, it could push them, do even crazier stuff. Like if we give them the planes and there are planes shooting them down, pretty much the same thing. Which causes, again, just as big of problems. So it's a very complicated thing to do it. But some of the excuses we've heard, and then they turn around and say other things, like it's just all just a big circle back. And they said they can't do that, but we could do this. But if you do that, then that, like it, it's all like it's run by idiots. Not the nicest way to put it, being run by a bunch of idiots. But look at Afghanistan, also run by a bunch of idiots. And look how that all worked out. True story. You don't have to like it. It's the way it is right now, though. But they're still fighting, and he says he's not leaving. So see how it goes. Again, President Biden's response says we'll take in some refugees. They've been back and forth a lot, saying this, that, and the other. And people need to get them out. I think they said they're up to 2 million that have gotten out so far. Poland, Europe, a lot of them are going to take them in. I could see us taking those into it, as long as we've had everybody and get it right. But this is a completely different situation than the Afghanistan thing when it comes to that, because we really couldn't vet any of them. knows who any of them are. And look what happens in that country. All kinds of terrorists and all kinds of hotbeds in there. So you really, this one's people literally fleeing because their country's getting leveled. That pretty much seems to be the purpose, and they're leveling, civilian areas, no matter what anyone says. And they're going to keep doing it. Just like they gave them the route so they could all evacuate, and then they found, the Russians landmined the road, that they were supposed to be using to get out of there. And they opened up stuff to what? Routes the Russians did to Belarus and Russia. No, why would they want to go and get into Russia? Why are some Russians that live in Ukraine and that Ukrainian forces are stopping them from doing that? Right now, that side of the country is Russian. So I don't know. Again, sure, there's two sides to everything, but taking in all the people, all the support, like these people, this is a different situation in that, just because the climate in Afghanistan compared to Ukraine, that's whole different circumstances because of everything. Again, terrorists, all kinds of stuff. Like, it's a whole thing, but the world does need to take these people in. If they can get out. I mean, do what you can to get out of there. It's just, again, it didn't have to be this way. Didn't know, but it's a lot of people. You can see the difference between the two parties and how they handle everything. And again, this is just too much like Afghanistan. We can't help you with it. We don't know how many people are here. We can't help you get out of here. It's just in the way Russia is, I expect it to get a lot worse. For everyone stuck there, people trying to get out, like they're going to keep shooting at and bombing people. That's their plan. Just bomb the bejesus out of everything. Just keep shelling them. And, it gets me to the big one, which again was another, argument I didn't try to have. All the people on the left blaming Trump and saying it would be worse if Putin's best friend Trump was still in office. Well, he didn't do anything for those years. He sanctioned the bejesus out of him. He didn't go and, unsanction, give a waiver for him to continue the pipeline so we can control pretty much all of Europe with oil. How's Trump's fault? Like he's been gone for forever. With none of this happening. When he left. People, please, wake up. Look at stuff. Really, this is all happening because of how just bad the Afghanistan thing went. Oh, look at that. It went terribly. And here we are now. What did we say then when that happened? We all said, watch out for Ukraine, watch out for Russia, and watch out for China when it comes to Taiwan. And here we are with Russia, and who, didn't do, waited until the Olympics were done at the request of China before the invasion started. And they're working together. All friendly. I got your back if you got mine kind of thing, which is very bad for all of us. And how much, everything. Those two countries, they don't care. They're hell bent for destruction and domination. And, I think they're going to get, but blaming Trump like it's been over a year, well over a year. Like, move on. Like, this is all off of idiocy in the way Afghanistan went. And that set it right in place. Look at the Taliban. They pretty much took over the whole country before anyone did anything over here in how many reports they got. And there they were for all those days, just building up on the borders of Ukraine. No one did anything. Again, can't help anyone get out. And it's just a complete cluster. And really, the people that blame Trump, I mean, just all you gotta do is look at what Putin said from day one. Was he wanted the old Soviet Union back, territories, the prestige, like he wanted to get that back. From day one, and he's been very, very clear about. He's been a very, very bad actor about it. And look, Chechnya, that was what, 99? That was under Bill Clinton. Everything in Syria was under, and Crimea, which, they annexed and they let them take, was under Obama. Now, Ukraine, under Biden. Why did they only do it during those years, and why didn't they, do anything super crazy? Super like invading countries like under Republicans. Strong leadership, stops a lot of things. And I'm sorry we don't have any, but because what, from Afghanistan to this, and he's been in office for what, 14 months? Not even. We've had 2 of these bad things happen already. I mean, I'm sorry, that's not leadership. And again, look at all those things that happened under certain parties' rule. Because they know what kind of policy they're going to get, and the people we're dealing with are not stupid. They understand these things. This is why we're here. Didn't have to be here. But what did we all say before the election went? It's going to get real ugly if a certain someone gets into office. Certain someone got into office, and look at the first 13 and a half months. Very, very ugly, very, very bad, quite destructive. And we see the people getting shelled now, civilians dying. We saw everything, people hanging on to airplanes as we tried to leave Afghanistan, the cluster that we did. And people are still surprised and do it like, where have you been the last couple months? And that's really want to know for all these people, like, where the hell have you been? And how many times do we have to call something before the world, everyone else, wakes up and figures out and stops blaming the orange guy that's not in charge anywhere near? How do you keep, blaming him, even though Putin has said this from day one, this is what he wanted to do? He literally has. He's been very, very blunt about what he wants, and he sees his shots and he takes them. And it's only during certain, regimes here in the country that they do it. And I just don't see it. Like, if Putin's best friend Trump was in office, it'd be worse. No, probably not. They actually did stuff where there was sanctions, like real sanctions, attacks on people. Like what they have cojones, which these guys don't. And hell, Biden just today, finally, after what, 13 days, finally, blocked import of Russian oil to the U.S. Here's the flip side. To stop that, because that's their economy. China already said they'd buy it all, so they'll still get money, but way too late. And again, 2 really big bad actors that don't care about human rights or anything. What they just want power. They want to take over the whole world. And I'm waiting to see how long this goes on, how long China waits before they do everything, because we know they're going to go after Taiwan. It's going to be so bad. Sooner or later, we're going to have to get involved. But finally getting to blocking Russian oil imports means we're still giving the money during all this, which help funding all that for this many days. It's just ludicrous. And the second we stopped drillings and all these things, notice they started ramping up, and they made more money, and here we are. It's very clear as day. And we have at least 100 years of energy, at least, under the country that we could be drilling, and we could be using, and we could be exporting and selling, other countries, not Russia, to diminish their power. And we're exporting a lot more a day under the last administration. You can look it up. It's very easy. And we stop doing that. That puts bad actors in charge of all of that. And they're all hostile regimes that really, really don't like us. And we're talking about the mullahs in Iran, and Venezuela, the Saudis. People that want nothing more than to see our country destroyed, and we're begging them, trying to make deals to get oil from them. We could be doing it our own, which means we're just going to give them money, which is going to funnel back, like, because they all work together and they're all very hostile. Especially Iran, death to America, death to Israel. I mean, they still tweet it all over the place. Look what they're doing in Venezuela. Look at the Saudis. And all of them said they will help, Putin. We're going to stop the import there, but we're going to get it from some other bad people. Syria. There's a bad actor state. Iran, the greatest state sponsor of terror, but we're going to try to get more oil from them, which gives them more money to, do everything they're doing. Which, how in the world does anyone think that's actually a good thing? I'll never understand. But right now, I mean, China, I already saw, President Xi say he's going to buy all their stuff. Whatever happened. So he's still going to get funding. I just can't believe it took this long to do it. Like the big one he did, even though I think I just saw Shell yesterday. Yes, we had to do some, and there wasn't a full ban yet. How it take that long, and how are we just going to more bad actors and not doing it ourselves, which is just going to help bad actors keep doing bad things to people. This isn't going to stop anywhere, like anything with any of it. There's a leadership and idiocy. They're just hell bent. Green energy, green is like, well, right now, look what's running this whole entire thing is oil. Look at the price of gas and oil barrels skyrocketed since it started. Why? Because they control so much of that. So to other bad people. And for some reason, they'd just rather ask them for help instead of doing it ourselves, which even Elon Musk come out, they all know him from Tesla. It's not even, bad for my business with the electric cars, but extraordinary times, call for extraordinary measures. And we can start drilling and getting all that back. If you're taking a lot of the power out of, Russia and China, they could take a lot of power away from people because they won't be making as much money because they wouldn't have all the oil industry. And all the stuff we're getting from them burns dirtier than the stuff we do here and hurts the environment more, which is just a whole nother story for a whole nother day. But our stuff's cleaner and we can produce it cleaner, but we're saving the environment by having them do, process and get more and then ship it over here, which, and think of the whole thing, it's stupid. But, why are we waiting this long to even do that and then working with more bad people that are on Russia's side? The money's going to get back to them. Again, China already said that they're going to buy it all if we do anything. So, I mean, really, what good does it do at all? It doesn't do any good to anyone that, has cognitive abilities to think. It's going to keep getting worse. I'm just tired of all the lies and the sheer idiocy, the sheer inability to do anything at all. Whenever these things happen, why wait so long every time? Like Afghanistan. I'm like, by my 10 days to talk to anybody? Like, why always so long to do anything when, bad people are doing bad things, especially, invading a country on three sides and leveling a lot of it. I saw pictures of Kharkiv when Crystal's brother was there. Not that long ago. Beautiful city. A lot of it's blown to hell. There's shells going down everywhere. I mean, again, land mining, like evac routes. I mean, there's just all kinds of bad things. And I just don't know why our response is always so late and so weak. And again, look it up. Look at the, again, Chechnya, Syria, Crimea, all this. Look who it's under. I mean, they only do it under certain people. It's not because the people on the other side are their friends. People on the other side know how to actually deal with this stuff. And bad actors, and don't just go to more bad actors, try to stop those bad actors, which creates more bad actors, and especially people like Iran that want a nuclear weapon. I mean, reports I did before, inside 6 months, they could have a nuke. And they want nothing but us dead, Israel, and we're willing to do deals with them, which just shows you like the mindset of the people in charge and why dumb things happen. And there's nothing good about, making deals with any of these people, because that's always their first thing. Instead of doing what we can be doing and what we were doing. And it's going to keep it up. And I hate to break it to everybody, but it's going to keep happening. It's going to keep going. sure Taiwan's next. This is making China take a deeper look at that whole Taiwan, thought process because of how long this is taking. Um, so we'll see what they do. But I mean, we all pretty much have that feeling and know it's coming. So, you know, gotta see how it all plays out. I suppose I just don't know why like everything takes so long. It's just done so bad, and so many stupid people are still blaming like a guy that hasn't been in office. He hasn't got rid of any sanctions. He hasn't made any sanctions. He hasn't done anything. If they're so mad at him, why didn't they go after him then? Like when someone says best friends, like you put sanctions on your best friend or your enemy to stop them from doing things, or do you take them away when you're their best friend to help them prosper and all that? Like that's what you do to your friends. You don't punish your friends. And that one I can't believe isn't even common sense. But people just need to use their brains, learn some stuff, and actually have educated thoughts before they say a lot of things and do things faster and react in a way that'll stop bad things from happening, not wait 10 to 13 days to do anything really. They don't lie and say we're doing these to deter them when you know they're not going to deter them, and you admit it wasn't going to deter them, yet people are still on your side saying, well, you didn't lie. And just use your brains. Like really, that's what it comes down to. Use your brains and don't be all like, well, we'll wait and see kind of thing with bad actors, because by the time you're done waiting and seeing, it's already way too late. Sadly, every time it is. So we'll see how it all goes, but I think it's going to get a lot worse before it gets anywhere near better. And it's going to be bloody. And it all could have been avoided. People just, forcefully tried to do anything instead of just appeasing people and waiting and seeing. The waiting and seeing sucks and is bad. So, we'll see. But I tried to hit everything that, has been going through my head for a while because I'm, trying to keep track of that. Every couple hours, from different things, getting all kinds of different info from across the board. And it was very somber, my tone, but I mean, this is a really, big, serious thing. And like there's stupidity on top of stupidity on top of stupidity. And they just keep getting more stupid. This is why bad people do bad things when weak people are in charge, because they know no one's going to stop them. You don't have to like it, but it's true and it makes a lot of sense. So that I say thank you for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for checking me out. Please don't forget to share it out to everybody. Follow along on the Facebook page, YouTube, Rumble, Cloud Hub, Right Only, Getter, Parlor. Links are on all there. The audio, Anchor, Spotify, Apple and Google Podcasts, Breaker, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Audible. Like it's all over the place. So, follow along whichever your preferred is, and make sure to share it out, to help it grow. Tell me what you think. If I missed anything or if I'm crazy, like I'm sure I did miss something. I tried not to, but a lot has happened in 13 days. Enjoy your Taco Tuesday. Because I'm gonna hang out with people and eat tacos and just try to, not think about it for a little bit. And I will be back again here in a few days. So enjoy the rest of your day. Be good to each other. Don't forget to share it out. Follow along. Tell me what you think. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll be back on Friday. So until then, peace.